we were all greeted with another shooting in the capital city of the Commonwealth. This is a far too occurrence in my city, in my district. We often talk about what's going on back at home. We often talk about how the legislation we pass, how it impacts different corners of our Commonwealth. But I'm glad that so many of us were able to see the yellow tape that I see on a monthly basis in my city. If it were not for City Hall being shut down and closed because of the holiday, we would have had thousands of people going in and out of that building, stopping at that bus stop in an effort simply to go to work. A person lost their life today, Mr. Speaker, and my question is, what are we going to do about it? We must move beyond peanut butter props and deal with pistols. I saw distinguished members, seasoned members, just go back and forth over peanut butter. Basic treat that we grew up with, something that is in our commissary or something that's in our cafe, and we made something of it. Props. You would think that leadership within the General Assembly would step up and lead as people are losing their lives. But our Lieutenant Governor would rather use a gun as a prop for a political ad. And I don't mean that in any amount of disrespect, Mr. Speaker, but I believe that we should hold ourselves to a higher level of decorum. That's something that can take a life and takes lives every single day. 1970s had an issue, I may just hit you in the jaw, and we keep it moving. But today, individuals have access to pistols in which they can solve those issues and those challenges. Colleagues across the aisle, we've heard about the fix for fentanyl. The response, Mr. Speaker, hasn't been, let's put more fentanyl on the streets. The response hasn't been, let's just hold pat with where we are and try to maintain the amount of fentanyl that's on the streets. No, we've heard, let's eradicate it. Let's remove it. Let's deal with those that sell it on a daily basis. But what about pistols? We know the impact that pistols have. And yeah, I know we'll say that, hey, guns don't kill people, people kill people. They do with guns. They do with guns. And so what's the answer? I believe we have the answer, but it's not doing nothing. We have several measures, Mr. Speaker, that as leaders of the Commonwealth, that we can decide right here, right now, this session, not waiting another year, this session, that we can prevent firearms from being left in unintended vehicles that end up in my neighborhood. Because that's how they get them. A gun is not reported lost or stolen, and it ends up in South Richmond. And it's going to be used, sir. But that's legislation we can pass, that the governor can pass this session. 5-day waiting period, Mr. Speaker. Have an opportunity to vet an individual before they go out and get a weapon. That we can pass this session. Mr. Speaker, we can prevent weapons being carried into mental hospitals this session. We can eliminate auto sears this session. And Mr. Speaker, we can close the boyfriend loophole this session. Peanut butter melts. Props can be discarded, but pistols take lives. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.